in the World War to model that system. So that system is we use today. Schools that produce armies of soldiers will now produce armies of workers. The focus on obedience and behaviors that make a dependent and dependable employees. C, if you like a C or C minus student, they are bosses. They, the ones who didn't go to school, even if they did, they became bosses. The A and the B student is become their employees. Why do I want to become an employee? 20% of kids learn the way the school system turns. 80% don't learn that way. So 80% of the kids are bored and labeled stupid. They do this crime. Oh, no, no. So they wouldn't get ADHD. They have melanin. So kids come out of school thinking they're dumb, but they're really not. School thinking every person who listens to us today was infinite. You haven't imagined it. God gave you this fullest said every one of us is born geniuses until we go to school. We be geniuses. Full said every one of us is born geniuses until we go to school. We be geniuses. We get a job, work hard, save money, get out of debt, and get money, give their money to Wall Street. And everybody, we don't know how to convert our genius. You can imagine nature. God gave you this event. Fuller said every one of us is born geniuses until we go to school. We be geniuses. We told get a job, work hard, save money, get out of debt, and give money to Wall Street. So every one of us have geniuses, but we don't know how to convert our genius, our imagination, because we don't have the knowledge. We turn it into an asset that can be sold to the world. Taught nothing about money in school. If we'll offer another view of money or business, a society, collaboration, a teamwork, or thinking for yourself, who's gonna do it? Who's gonna do it? My fourth grade teacher wasn't gonna do it. But how wants to gonna do it? My sister freshman Ohio State University. And his professors certainly aren't doing it. The sooner you're educated, and the more the taste of it what works for you in terms of preserving and growing your own money, whatever that might be. As soon as you start, the better you are. It's just the one piece that's conspicuous and mysteriously left out of the system. Why? Because you have to ask yourself why. Why would something that is critical work every point that make money? Why are we not talking about money? Talking do what you told. Don't make mistakes. The person make the most. The person who make. Why are we not talking about money? When you're taught to be good, do what you told. Don't you make mistakes. The person makes most people make them most mistakes. It's the why most mistakes are learn from it. Get smarter. Baby learns to walk by falling, standing up. It's always come standing up. After they can walk, next thing they walk is a bicycle. And he fall off, and that's how we learn. This thing called the learning curve. First, until taught not to make mistakes. They claim to a job making nothing, but they're terrified of failing. They're terrified of not having that. They're paralyzed. And there wasn't no guesswork of who comes from. John D. Rockefeller went to the University of Chicago without putting his name on it. Man, the universities were started by these wealthy families. See, I could be see it in the studies done. Then these wealthy individuals were to create great employees. They take the brightest and the best and put them into their business. Or what? How does this whole rat race begin? And why keep it running if you benefit from it? For over 200,000 years, the first modern humans is as hunter gatherers. It was 2200. We lived this for like hundreds of thousands of years. Then the kings of Africa, revolution, we began to stay put, grow fruit, raise livestock, build a home. Then become grow food, raise livestock, build a home. Living. Survival now depends on having fertile land and natural resources. More land means security. Surplus food for his droughts is the barter for good. Prosperity is poor. This is where the game changes. See where this goes. Bank heist. 1787, the U.S. Constitution is signed. Our founding fathers are the elite of the day. Fast forward to 1913. U.S. monetary. The Fed is the brainchild of the U.S. Senate and executives from the wealthiest banks of the day. You got to put these new banks that we put out of this because they're taking our businesses away from. That was the premise to create a cartel. If you were able to control the banking system, to be able to control the money. Two things, right? The first one is the Federal Reserve System of 12. A corporation as that is a certain share as the biggest banks owned in the Federal Reserve. And it's called so you have the big bank. Technically, that bank has ownership in a company that can electronically in order to help himself without any monetary situation. His budget actually comes from the government. It's very, very strong political connection. Also, their budget and their things and their shares. This government makes money. The topic of money is so complicated that people don't understand it. Go to work, draw. I think our government makes money. The topic of money is so complicated that people don't understand it. So all they know is to go to work, draw a paycheck, and invest in a 401k stock bonds and mutual funds. That's how they're going to make money. We're not talking. That's what it's talk. Only if you understand. Oh, yeah, let's go. What is real financial education? real financial education, you have to understand your history. It's August 15th, 1971. Nixon comes to interest the most popular. Nixon comes to interrupt Bonanza, the most popular show in America. Hey, sports fans, I'm taking the dollar off the gold standard. Frown. Frown. The dollar heist. My rich daddy sent me a letter. Watch out, President Nixon took the dollar out the gold standard. Well, basically, on August 15th, 1971, our money became fake money. So the US dollar is it's exchangeable, but it doesn't start back because they print it. It's dead. You hate money. That's not what you're talking about. So LNC is a heist. The stock certificate ownership in the company. Ownership paper money represented in 1971 is no longer representing the gold. Now it's a blank piece of paper. They are able to issue these notes and demanding their surrender. And if the surrender doesn't happen, then they throw you in prison. The idea of monetary theory. The government can just basically create money when it needs to. But technically, what they're talking about is it's a paper that's only it's a heist. When people get that first paycheck, they're excited to get the first paycheck. They're gonna buy stuff that they always dream of wanting, and then they see that the government takes out taxes and payroll taxes, and that paycheck is much less than we expected. I'm supposed to work for money, and they take 40% off the top as an employee. That I go to gas pump, I look at the gas only. I'm just making up these numbers. $2. That's really $2.50 because they tax on my 50 cents. And then I go buy some food, and there's sell taxes on that, and I go register my car. They're taxing me they're taxing me to death. This is a heist. You know something? I know I need to pay my taxes to the purpose of civil society. People hate paying taxes. Everybody hating it. Hates the idea. What's going on? You know? And that's part of the money house, keeping people in the dark of the nature of money and the nature of government's involvement in the economy. When you look at that figures, you look at the schools, or lawyer or engineer. They'll use leverage, and that's what the government wants us to do. And so, when a person's looking at the tax code, if you wanted to avoid the highest fines, what the government wants you to do. If you spend the money on yourself, yourself is just spend money on yourself, and they'll put that money to use. A consumption tax. You see the income, you pay taxes. If you put the money back in the economy, you're gonna pay a little bit, frankly, you get too. In terms of taxes, again, as an entrepreneur, you will get pounded in a couple of pounded. So we're killing the working class people who work for money, tax, and debt. And how their system works. So everyone on payday goes putting these monies in these banks. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh hell. No. For their time. You're working for their time. You come because that's your schedule. You come in for to their time. Where they want you, what time they want you to work. So that's a liability because they owe you interest. So there don't places that actually owe you interest on the money, and that because of the expense of that. And they'll let the guy like me, then all of a sudden made it spread. So you put like $100 in there. And it's like grandma puts out in $1,000 to the bank because she wants to save, and the bank take that $1,000 in loan. Little did I know. And her grandma, the bank and loan out now $10,000 on that 1,000. Well, we got $1,000 repairs in the first. The money never existed. Think about that. Think about it. Banks actually probably can lend out for more than $10 to every a dollar because Yeah. But that's uh, oh, it appears. That free. Back four. If they stop working, hey, it's just you feel all this trash. so you get that college education. God, bro. We. Good job. Mm. You've never had a bush. Well, you will have survival. And that's the exchange that maybe people will take. Yeah. They go bankrupt. They couldn't pay people that they didn't work. But pension funds. This Fall State. You got people that you owe money to that you cannot pay. It's just so, or bankrupt. They didn't go out of business. The chapter 11. It's called bankruptcy. Let's go to Detroit Police and this United Airlines or Delta. When corporations are under financial distress. Mm. What about your parents? Your grandparents? Have their pensions were. Why is these pensions always going bigger? The dude or the Fed of the government at Wall Street are all part of Grinch Gross University cash heist. And if you drop those interest rates, a pension only 74.5% return. If you get a 5% return, the thing what much you make go on your pay your pension. But it's basically like a Ponzi scheme. If they dozing off, you're going broke. If their pensions were so more will go all these pensions going bankrupt. And it's due to the Fed and the government and Wall Street. It's all part of Gross University cash heist. And Wall Street, Gross University cash heist. Based on invest in the Wall Street Fund. is interest what those funds that paid retired workers they promised. Wall Street will be charging fees to do so. But when the day comes start to feed you pay pension check, house manage of that 11 decisions made unfed. But basically is a Ponzi scheme to pay old money going up. Or it's a less value. 2%. Well, you know, it's 7.5%. You're going broke. You got to make. Look at that. You don't care about. Get this show. That's not your, bro. Four-way came. Or the profit sharing plans. HMC. Whew. Now retirement goes from functioning income, so the problems with provide for you, that's your problem. It has not worked when it doesn't work. Wall Street was, why would you save more? Why'd you give us more of your Wall Street? So why'd you give us more? For 40 hours a week, have time to study the fine. Working 40 hours a week at time to study the financial markets and become skilled at financial decisioning. 401k plans. And retirement savings. Great. Not our problem anymore. So now retirement goes from being a function of income and somebody else's problem with five for you. That's your problem. It has not worked, and when it doesn't work, Wall Street will why would you save more? Why would you give us more of your money? The workers who work 40 hours a week time to study the financial markets just fundamentally wrong. You have 65 year at my estimate, maybe $75,000 in retirement savings. Or $75,000, you're looking at earnings to supplement your retirement. And you've couple of few $100 a month. Who can retire? The company says not our problem anymore. So I have this mistake that's they outlived their money. Wrongdoing, the Wayne Mansion. To handle for decades. You probably also the chances are start thinking about when you're just making money that benefit you personally. So it's not the case the few bad apples on Wall Street. It's an industry that are full of bad apples. It's they're full, more motivated by greed. If they are, their employers, their employers are in the next line of the bar. Their employees. Universal Cash App. One of these examples is Wall Street and fees and 401k. And then fourth quarter arrived. Boom. Sad. The ultra rich beyond the Fed rip us off via our money. Once I regret my rich dad before that can get, I understood it. Don't work for money because the money is time. But you pays the rest assured, doing your true purpose if you commit your life at the highest of others. Always remember that. So I realized basically I was pretty greedy. I was just trying to make money for me. And I knew it was over. It was time to get on my purpose in life. I'll find a way. I'm gonna find a way. Gut health, brain health, physical health, financial health. Because these times, unfortunately, so many people have a wake up call. Or what they had their safe, secure job, all of a sudden their businesses are closed. And many jobs are not coming back, and people now try to figure out what I'm going to do with my life and the opportunities they thought they ain't there anymore. So this could be, we also say, adversity. It could be your greatest opportunity. Also, is your greatest upset. Secure your financial future. person does feel that they like to take responsibility, if the person does that I don't want to be a victim, there is an avenue and you can learn and you can change your life. You can get it done. I never stepped foot in another classroom again. I was never like a. Mm-hmm. To make money, a human exists to also make money. And currency's definition of an asset is an asset that puts money in your pocket, whether you work or not. So I have 7 rental properties. Every month I get a paycheck. My house is a liability because the cash is going out. My car is a liability. It states that determines the asset or the liability. There's rules. They work for assets because that is the proven path. They always have the assets work for him. There are 4 basic asset classes. Stocks and bonds and paper assets. You have a brokerage account with paper assets. That's a real estate asset. And then you have business assets. An operating business that you run or you manage is another asset class. Look at your personality and your strengths and your desires and your passions. On your G, the level to start a level entrepreneur to start. Or well, I just buy one like Warburton. Do I just like real estate of that stomach that or understand it? And do I like the idea of commodity? That my financial literacy book. Mm, worthy, equality, useful. Hmm. And healthy. Your your life has to be healthy. Positive health. So you it's all good. You say. We'll get it. So, like I was saying, I'm scrolling through YouTube. Just check out the news to see what's everything. Because I know I'm not gonna. I know I'm not because I don't want that freaking propagandist BS, right? So, as I'm scrolling, I look at all these different stories. The idiot that attacked the ICE facility. People talking about Jimmy Kimmel. And all of these different stories. I noticed that Kamala is back in the U on the book tour. And now she's doing interviews on a rappy ass book on the book tour. 107 days, whatever. Doing a book tour. So, as I'm freaking look at one of her interviews, she had the nerve to give a lecture about Donald. Dare he treat foreign leaders that come to the leaders of. I'm sitting up here like, she's sitting up there talking about that man.